Greetings, this is Vlodril and welcome to the first look for the game called Realpolitiks. It's a game that releases this month. It is made by Jujubee and it is published by 1C, which sent me a key for this series, so a big thank you to them. This is a grand strategy game which I'm really not great at. They're really complicated. I only played Crusader Kings and Stellaris. And I think Stellaris is the easiest I have played. Also, the loading screens apparently have various world leaders like Merkel, Obama, or whatever. This is really weird. European counterweight. Suggested countries. Germany, Russia. Okay. Actually, you know what? We'll do the tutorial. Because I have no idea how this works. Tutorial basics. I guess we go with a specific country. Cool. I think this is Putin. Welcome to Realpolitiks, a grand strategy game by Jujubee. In this scenario, you will learn about the interface and economic aspects of the game, which, you know, looks kinda complicated. A lot of grand strategy games look real interesting, but I always was hesitant to go into them because they look so overly complicated. I think Stellaris did a fine job at simplifying, but it may have went a bit too far onto the simplification. Anyway, we'll see. Basic information about your country is shown in the upper bar. Okay, so we have the score, some money, action points, reflections, government effectiveness, used for diplomatic actions, projects, army, etc. Okay. Our GDP is negative. Natural resources. Actually, can you pause? No? Okay. I don't think it matters. Numbers in brackets represent the changes that will occur at the end of the month. Directly under the upper bar, you can see the information bar. Can I move this? No. Okay. Next to the upper bar is the current date and the buttons used to change the game speed. So now we can actually pause. Okay. Here you can find the plain view button, which is that one. Quickly change to a cleaner, more easy to see map. It removes the cities basically. Okay. Your main country management options are in the side menu. You can find detailed information about your nation here. The side menu is further divided into 4 sub-menus: internal politics, economy, military, and other country. Okay. Fair enough. Next to the side menu, you can find additional buttons for windows that deal directly with certain aspects of the game, e.g. the United Nations or nuclear weapon management. Okay. I see. In the lower right part of the screen, you can set your desired map view. By default, it's set to political, which shows national borders. Okay. So this is the relations map, society map, trade map, and score map. Okay. You can zoom in and out of the map with the mouse scroll wheel. Damn, okay. Cool. Yep. Got it. To the right of the screen is the notification center. I think that's it. Click the internal politics icon, which will expand and show you that you have negative GDP growth and high unemployment. Okay. Okay, so to move forward, you need to finish the task lists in the task menu. which is here. The first requires you to borrow some money. Take the loan button. Okay, click the economy. Take loan. So apparently they just gave us. Who gave us the loan? Who knows? Investors, I guess. If you pause the game, make sure to unpause. Cool. Collect at least 800 money in your treasury. So I have 900 now. Notice you earned action points and score points for finishing your first task. Action points are a representation of your government's bureaucratic power and unspent on various actions similar to money. Your monthly income of action points appears in brackets. Cool. Score points determines your place in the score ranking. Usually you'll need to place first at the end of a scenario timeline to win. Okay, you can check the current rankings by clicking the numbers by the score. Okay. So we are one, I guess, for now. Now you have some money to burn. To increase your income further, you can use the tax slider in the economy. Yes, let's tax everyone. That always goes well. Keep in mind that high tax rates will cause unhappiness and lower your GDP growth. If only the goddamn Troika knew that. I'm Greek, by the way. If you don't know that. And the people sent to manage our economy in Greece, they have basically been raising taxes and cut wages. And somehow we don't have growth. But who could have predicted that? Anyway, let's, I guess, raise a bit. 50%, damn. Okay. Reaching positive GDP growth and activating basic infrastructure projects are parts of your next task. Positive growth translates into a wealthier society over time. Yep. Projects are unique laws, policies, constructions, and orders introduced by your government. They can affect various aspects of your economy. For example, basic infrastructure will improve your GDP growth. Introducing a good project can easily help you kill two birds with one stone. Okay, so let's do that then. Projects. Basic infrastructure. GDP growth plus 0.50. It costs 42 money and 42 action points, which is not a problem. It only costs 2 to maintain. It has some implementation time though, so project implementation can take a while. Check their progress in the notification center to the right of the screen. You can also speed things up by using the control buttons. Okay. I guess I can't proceed until it's done. Okay, that's fine. So we have pause, play, and fast. Alright, we have some basic infrastructure and now we have a positive GDP growth. That gave us 10 score, 500 money, and 100 action points. Cool. Fight unemployment. This is our next task. If you ever need yourself to cut costs, you can always suspend some projects, okay? Actually, let's wait. Let's look at the unemployment. The employment rate is in the economy menu. Damn. This menu is... It has a lot of information. Alright, we have an unemployment rate of 14.64, which is pretty bad. Things are actually worse in Greece, but again, I won't go into the Greece thing a lot. Just, it's funny to see the parallels in a real world situation. It's already high, but it's getting even higher due to its positive growth. You can fight it by increasing GDP growth or by introducing helpful projects. Introduce the bureaucracy project. Use the effects filter in the bottom left corner of the project's window. Effects. Oh, I see. Unemployment. Okay. That's pretty sweet. Basically, if I have something that I want to combat, but I don't really know how, I can pick the effects. So if I want, for example, my population to grow, I will pick that. And if I want my GDP growth, I will pick that. That's pretty helpful. That's pretty good. Cool. Alright, bureaucracy. Very nice. Let's have some bureaucracy. And let's play so we can complete it. This is just learning the game, by the way, which seems, complicated, but we'll see. It will also be interesting to see the interactions we can have with the various countries around us, and there are random events to be had, which will help with making the game not boring, and have some replayability. It's pretty important, the random events, I find, in strategy games like this. Crusader Kings was really good with that. Stellaris was really good to start with, but kinda fell apart mid-game on that aspect. Alrighty. Congratulations. Alright, now, completely repay your debts. No country does that. That's unrealistic. Alright, repay the loan from the beginning of the game by clicking on the pay debt button. Sure. That will leave us with not a lot of money, but there, the debt is repaid. Cool. Pause it again. Now let's take a look at diplomacy. In Realpolitiks, your country maintains constant relations with every other country in the world. Relations are represented by values between 0, the lowest, and 100, the highest. You can check your current relations by changing to the relations map view. Cool. Key relations are also listed in the capital provinces of other countries. Okay. Oh, get the number. Damn, not really such great relations with Slovakia. It will be interesting to play as Greece, since I am Greek. Because their relationships will be really bad. And it will be, I don't know. I would like to see that, how it works. I want to see if they have actually included that, how realistic the game is. That would be interesting to me. Your next task requires you to lead at least 65 relations with the Czech Republic. Close the tasks windows. I don't have a... Okay. Close the task window and right click the Czech region. Czech Republic. Okay. Diplomacy. So, we need to improve relations and help country. Diplomatic programs are somewhat similar to one-off projects. You need the money and action points to begin implementation, but you don't need to pay every month to keep them active. After implementation of both programs, your relations should reach 65. Okay. We wanted improved relations, which has 21 and 30. That's no problem. And we want help country, which is much higher. Affects human development index. Okay. That should do it though. This is where the meat of the game will be. Handling relations with other countries. I'm guessing. Improve relations, effects plus 12. Okay. Help country, effects plus 12. Alright, I guess we went higher. I can't see it right now. Excellent. Now it's time to start your own bloc. Blocs are alliances between countries. A country can only be in one bloc at a time. To invite the Czechs to your bloc, right-click their province, pick diplomacy and then bloc operation. You need the right level of relations and units to invite countries. Invitations cost money and action points. Okay. Alright, so we have 74 out of 65 required. We have 21 out of 15 units required. I'm not sure what the units are. I guess we'll see. We need 200 and 100 action points. Cool. And play. Alrighty. Great. Now, as long as they stay in your bloc, you'll have full access to their units in every conflict. Keep in mind that your block's maintenance also costs money and action points per month. And my GDP is actually negative again. Okay. You can also introduce special integrators to gain additional benefits from your block. Integrators are similar to projects with the difference that they need higher relations with your block members in order to keep your block together for its activated integrator. Open your block window. Okay, find the freedom of movement integrator. This sounds very European. It will improve the monthly population growth to your country. How do I start it? Oh, activate. Yes, okay. And play. Guess it needs 14 days to complete. Alright, introduce the freedom of movement, gave us 10 score, 200 and 300. In the internal politics menu you can find basic political information on your country. Interventionism, personal control. Militarism, take a while to look them over and note their change factors and effects. Alright, to the political system then. We're learning about interventionism. Personal control controls the citizens' everyday life. This control is asserted in a wide range of ways, from monitoring to the criminalization of other parties. Freedom reduces unhappiness but can be dangerous due to the limits of the law. Control increases unhappiness but offers more political stability. Okay. Simple education +1, economic development +3. Okay. Militarism. Military traditions and influences in the country. High militarism increases maximum army size and reduces its cost, but may also reduce relations with others. Okay. Paramilitary groups +2. Okay. Population. Combined number of citizens in the productive age group. Population growth is really small. We're getting a bonus now from the block. Nice. Human development, diplomacy, etc. Okay. Values of interventionism, personal control, and military determine your political system. This will change with elections, economic conditions, new projects, being at war, etc. Right now you have an authoritarian country, which is over here. But with enough changes to those three stats, your entire system will change as well. Click the Czech Republic. This will highlight the country in the other country menu. Other country, yes. These guys have a democracy, for example. Normally, with the difference between your political systems, it will be very hard for you to invite them to your block. But these restrictions have been relaxed for the purpose of this tutorial. You can, however, still try to influence their system via a spy operation. Okay, so next task, change the Czech Republic to authoritarianism. Right click the province, click spy operations, and choose influence political system. Spread our righteousness political views abroad to make their system more like ours. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So you need to actually... Well, I'm not sure how well that will work in the real game. Again, they have made this easier for the tutorial, so we'll see. Spy action. Our agents report that influence political system operation was a complete success. Czech Republic has no idea what hit them. Okay. Spy operations allow you to try dirty tricks in other countries. Be aware that if your spies are caught, your country's reputation will suffer. Your next tasks requires you to use damaged reputation on Ukraine. This will lower Ukraine's relations with every other country in the world. Initiate it just like the one before. Alright, where the hell is Ukraine? My geography sucks, by the way. Damage reputation, 100%. Costs 14 white things. I'm not sure what this is. Did the game tell me and I forgot? Don't think so. Anyway. I'm spending something, but I'm not sure what it is. Damage reputation operation was a complete success. Ukraine has no idea what hit them. Successfully performed the damage reputation spy operation in Ukraine. Cool. The next tutorial task requires you to open your own stock exchange. Stock exchanges generate steady income depending on GDP, interventionism, personal control, world economy, other countries you have invited to trade on it, and your relationships with them. Okay, this keeps going up. I'm not doing anything about it, but you know. To begin, first introduce the local financial center project. Notice that in order to activate it, you need a preliminary one. Stock exchange. Let's see. And change depends greatly on the members you have invited. By default, you can have up to 3, but you can increase this by additional projects. You can also improve the rating of countries you have invited, thus increasing the income they generate. There are 3 rating levels for each member. Remember to regularly check on your stock as the rating decreases over time. You'll need to increase it again to keep the income at the highest possible level. That sounds like a lot of micromanagement. One final thing to remember about the stock exchange is that you can be invited by someone else to trade on their own stock exchange. When this happens, you will have the ability to place an embargo on that country via the World Stock Exchange tab. When you do this, you'll cut any income you provide to the other country. Be aware, however, that this will be perceived as an offensive action. Okay, sure. Ukraine seems to be blinking, I think because I have... yeah, okay. Really? Greece is yellow. Green. Trade-wise, that's interesting. Alright, we need to invite France and UK and maybe Germany. Invite France and that's red now. That's interesting. And kind of unexpected. Why are these red? I'm not sure. We'll invite Italy. And I guess I can invite Spain or Turkey. Let's invite Spain. Spain is cool. Okay. Alright, I guess that was the tutorial. Seriously, some of the screens are really nice, but kinda inappropriate. Okay, so I'm guessing that's it. Yes, that was the tutorial. And there is a scenario, the world is not enough. Which is, I'm guessing, the basic scenario. I'm not sure if the game on release will have more or not. So in this scenario, you must reach above 1500 score points. Maybe you need to complete the scenario and then it will unlock another scenario. Right, that would make sense. Okay. You know what? I think I'll end this episode here. And that was a pretty good look on the tutorial and how the game works. For now, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, leave a comment if you want to, as usually, and I will see you next time.